So yeah, it's not working basically.
And, well, and we've become
I love it.
accustomed.
I love it.
We've become accustomed to utilitarianism, right?
Yeah,
So a
yeah.
college classroom is a great example. So when I was a Waldorf teacher, I had my classroom and it was all vibe, right? It was,
Hmm.
there was a whole vibe that was with it, and different kinds of pictures on the walls.
I
And
love it.
I usually had some kind of Persian rug or something. My house was basically a Waldorf
Yeah.
classroom. But then when I was a professor, and I don't care where I was teaching, the classrooms all had just functional,
Yeah.
materials and functional chairs and functional tables, and it had no vibe at all. The one place I was teaching, Adrian College, my sister went there in the 80s. And I remember one time stopping in the middle of class and we go, you know what, guys? I think this is the same junk that was on the walls when my sister came here in 1981.
Yeah.
Cinder block.
I've always
We changed it
viscerally
all.
hated it. My body has always taken me away from it. Like I never went to class. My own kids,
Oh.
I never cared if they went to school. They all look like prisons to me. They feel
They
like prisons.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
My elementary school looked like a jail. But
Mm.
Yeah.
you know who was on top of this over 100 years ago?
James Conant.
Rudolf Steiner.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
With a doorway, for instance, they're all usually,
Yeah, rectangular.
uniform. And he would say, no, we don't know by looking at a door which way it's supposed to open. You have to look for the
Interesting.
handle.
Right.
And so he thought there should be angles or not angles, of curves.
Oh, that was his idea with that.
Just there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he designed the buildings. He does. If you look up the
Yeah.
first Gertianum,
Yeah, the one in wood and
yeah, which is an amazing structure
yeah.
made by a non-professional, right?
Well, this is one of the things I've really kind of let go a lot of the professional path, because it stifles and it kills a lot of the creativity, and you kind of just at a certain point need to say, well, are you going to choose the sort
life
of,
or death.
yeah, life or death kind of thing.
Yeah, really, really.
But no, I think vibe needs to be raised as one of the highest, philosophical concepts. Vibe,
Yeah.
and the German is Stimmung,
Yeah.
which comes from Stimme, which is the voice. So it's the voice that's
It's a sign
speaking
of
out.
hope in the States, at least in my circles, that most young people are very cool with that. It's used well in their vocabulary, and they're trying to attune themselves to it.
Yeah, yeah,
The thing is, when we come into these kinds of spaces that are functional and artificial, they're spiritually deadening, right? That's Steiner's position. So, and what he was saying, we can't go backwards, but we have to go forwards into how do we create spaces that feel enlivening, right? And it's not just the spaces, but it's everything else too. It's like on my house, for instance, a lot of the hinges have beautiful scroll work on the hinge on the inside of the door, which no one looks at, right? People who go, what am I going to waste time doing that for? I have. But even some of the doorknobs have great scroll
Yeah,
work.
right.
And because why? Because beauty matters. That's why.
yeah, yeah.
We're not trying to be beautiful or
Nor are
impressive.
these new medical clinics.
They're functional.
It's like that's the worldview kind of expressing itself in steel studs and drywall at the moment.
One of our listeners, John McCormick, he's a drywaller, but sees everything. He sees the poetry. He calls it soul deadening. And he can extrapolate from drywall to all the evils of the world. In a way, I exaggerated a little bit.
It all
there,
begins
but no.
here.
Yeah.
Gypsum.
That's
the
type
problem.
of space is made to create the money system, the motives behind it, what we call housing. Things.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a good exercise.
Good.
Make 2 sandwiches.
Okay.
One sandwich you cut like straight. You just cut the rectangle at 90 degrees.
This is a great podcast, by the way. Go ahead.
The second sandwich you cut on an angle, the
Sure,
triangle.
sure.
And
I would say it's the way your mom did it. You're drawn to it, don't you think? But no, I don't know.
those are 2 different sandwiches. The
Yeah.
experience of eating those 2 different sandwiches
Right.
is different. And